Hey guys, I'm Krista, and this is my big sister Stacey.
And this is Sister Social Call.
Well, hey sis, how's it going?
Well, my office is a complete disaster right now, so it's causing me a little bit of anxiety, but
I thought you were literally going to deal with that since you got off work a long time ago.
I haven't. It's that bad.
Okay, well, how does that happen? I need to know because I feel like every week you're telling me you're organizing your office. So you need to tell me what's going on here.
Okay, so I'm having a layout problem with my office desks. And two of the things that are causing me frustration right now are my printer and my paper shredder. So they are taking up a lot of space on my desk. Now, my workstation for like my work laptop has an extendable monitors on it. So I have 3 screens for my work computer. So that takes up a whole desk. And then with the podcasting stuff, I would like to set up my desk and my microphone and my light on another one. But I think I know what the problem is. I just don't think I have the energy to deal with it tonight.
Fair enough, because this has been a project on your mind for over a month, I'm going to say.
We bought a new piece of my desk setup from IKEA yesterday. So I built that. And that will help. It is already helping. But there's a piece from my other desk that is causing problems. So I think I need to take that piece off and just not have it. And
fair enough.
So anyways, yeah.
Okay, well, I just got home from work.
How was your day at work?
It was good. I had a writing lesson this morning, so having a hard time sleeping last night. Just my brain was racing, and then of course it's like, oh, I got to get up. And usually I don't work until noon on Tuesday, so usually my mornings are super casual, and then I have this writing lesson, which it turned out to be awesome. But of course, I had hard times last night, so it was just I'm just tired.
Let's kick her off. Why don't you tell listeners what we got on the show today?
Okay, well, hey, you guys, because when you're going to be listening to this, it's going to be post Valentine's Day. So we just thought something kind of like light and airy. We would just have a little discussion on love, this Hallmark holiday that neither me or my sister are like huge subscribers to. It's kind of like, meh, whatever. But, that's not the case for everybody. And we thought, this would be kind of a cute little time to just, we could just talk about how we met our partners, love in general. And then even just, I have some single friends and stuff, but I was a single adult lady here about 5-6 years ago and dove on into the whole online dating world. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for me to expose some of my stories. All right, sis, why don't you start us off by telling us how you and Shawnee, my most favorite brother-in-law in the entire world.
Well, Sean and I met 24 or 25 years ago at the turn of the millennium. And it was so long ago. We actually didn't even have cell phones at the time. We had still just landlines. But Sean, I met
he'd be calling and beeping through while one of us was on the phone. We had those like the call waiting thing going on.
I totally forgot about beeping through.
Oh my gosh, because we were all phone talkers.
Anyways, so Sean and I met at the turn of the millennium. We met the good old-fashioned way at a friend's party. So I had been asked by my friends Carrie multiple times to come to a party at her friend Nick Flaman's grandma's or at his cabin or at his farm. Nick had parties all the time and in various places. And I always said no. But then there was this time after I was done high school and I was kind of bummed out about life because I wasn't going to school and all my friends were going to post-secondary education. And I finally just said yes. And that was probably one of my best decisions of my life. Because when I got there, Sean was this very handsome young man. He's very handsome now, but he's a very handsome young man. He was hanging out in a tree. And I was like, who's that cute guy? And that was Sean. Like, that's where I met him. We had a nice night. And then we reconnected a few weeks later at a face-to-face concert. We are punk rockers, or were, not so much anymore. Yeah, we reconnected at the face-to-face show, and we've been together ever since. So at the face-to-face show, Sean and I went towards the front. Carrie and Soren were also at the front, and the mosh pit at that face-to-face concert got pretty aggressive. I was not in the mosh pit. I didn't love mosh pits, but I enjoyed a good punk show. But the mosh pit got pretty aggressive, and we were getting bumped around quite a bit. So I grabbed Sean close to me to like protect me, and that was it. We have been together ever since.
I didn't know that last detail of the story.
Yeah. So that was, Sean would have never put a first move on ever.
No, I couldn't even imagine it. I love that story about you guys because we were young and having fun, and it reminds me of some good old days. So I do love that story.
I just was reading my journal from that time, and it was great. We fell in love really fast. Like, we were moving out of province in 2 months after we started dating.
Yes, you guys moved to Calgary right away and had that adventure.
Yeah. So we knew it wasn't love at first sight, but it was very quick that we knew we would be together forever. And here we are, 25 years later, almost, that we've been together. We've been together.
Congratulations. Congrats on that, because not many people can make it there.
No. And we've been together more years than we've been not together.
Yeah, at this point in your life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, thanks for sharing that with the world. It's so cute. I love that. If anybody knows punk rock, go have a little listen to
their self-titled album, Face to Face. And the only reason why I have that at the top of my head right now is because I was sharing it with Mazzy, our niece. Sweet. And I felt like I had hit peak ante because I could talk to her about punk rock.
She really had no clue who the heck Face to Face was.
No, she didn't. She told
me. Exactly. Not surprised. But anyways, she's got time to grow into that. She's young yet.
Yeah, she just cut all of her hair off and was putting it into little spikes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Her punk rock days are just around the corner.
She's coming into her own here.
Awesome. Why didn't you tell us how you and Mark started dating?
Let me tell you all about Mark and I. It all started back, we've been together. On Boxing Day, we celebrated 5 years together. I had been single, I think, honestly, it felt like I was single forever, but I was married and then divorced. And I had been on the online dating rampage for the entire time of my singledom until Mark rescued me from that. I'd done the online dating thing, and I will get to some of those dates after. I went on this one date and I was just like, whoa, I need to not be doing this online dating thing. So I took a hiatus for quite a while. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to get back on the saddle, because if you ever online date, you'll know, you'll go on it and then you'll be discouraged and you'll get off for a while. Then you'll go back on thinking this whole new set of men are going to be on there. But the reality is it's all the same people. But my whole motto when I was single was I don't want to leave any stone unturned.
No, you did not.
I did not. And the reason for that was because I just constantly am attracted to the same type of people. And I thought, I'm just going to date all kinds of people. I didn't date. I mean, I just wanted to go out for coffee, go out for a drink, just meet people of all different walks of life, because you just never know. So anyhow, we're both, Mark and I are on Tinder, and he's handsome, big, handsome cowboy. In fact, he wasn't typically somebody that I would scroll across, but I had this list. On the list, it had all the things that I wanted in a partner. And one of the things that I wanted a partner like my Uncle Bob, who is my Auntie Jean's late husband. And he's an awesome, quiet, but loving, funny character. And that was on there. Swipe right on Mark and we're a match. It was in December and we were talking to each other, and he was not a texter really. So right away it was on the phone. Well, the guy sounds like Barry White. His voice is so deep. When you first talk to somebody on the phone after you've just been on Tinder and they answer in this deep, manly voice, it's okay. So yeah, he had me at hello there. And so we talked for a while. And of course it was around Christmas time, and Mark, unfortunately, his parents are no longer with him. And so he was like, what are you up to this day? And I was like, well, I got a Christmas party. And what about this day? And so I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the ski hill on Boxing Day. Do you want to meet me there in Fort Capel at like the Houston Pizza? Like, there's nowhere really great to go. But I'm like, you want to meet me at the Houston Pizza for a beer after? And he was like, yep, I'll be there. I'm like, giddy up. Let's do this. It's like full circle, this whole story of me and Mark, because my sister and I, we grew up going to the YMCA and we're super involved there. And then camp. We went to camp as kids, and then we worked there as camp counselors and whatnot. And the camp is like right close to Fort Capel. So it's like, it was just so nostalgic to meet this man in Fort Capel at the Houston Pizza where we used to go like when we were young. Anyway, so we meet in the parking lot. He rolls up in his big Dodge, his big diesel truck. And it's just like, rah, rah, rah. Anyways, he like comes out of the truck in his Canadian tuxedo, denim on denim, and his deep voice. And I was just like, oh my goodness. He went to shake my hand and I was like, give me a hug. I am a lover. So yeah, so I gave him a big hug. And anyways, we went in there and I don't know, like it felt like we were in there for hours. We were just talking and talking and talking. Probably me talking, but he just has this presence about him that like instantly I just was like, I want to spend way more time with you, because he has this gentle kind of spirit to him, but also that man has weathered the storms. We met that day and I knew, I was like, I need to spend more time with you. And the same thing. And then of course, after we're leaving and we're in the parking lot, straight making out in the parking lot like we're freaking teenagers, just smooching in the parking lot. There was a kiss on the first date, and then it was like, kissing and like talking. And yeah, you didn't kiss Sean on your first date?
No. Like that night at face to face?
Well, after saying goodbye, anything?
Not that night.
Okay. Well, I'm a little faster mover than you. And at this point in my life, it's like, let's cut to the chase here. Yeah. Like, come on, let's get to it. So I'm going to be raw and real. Yeah, we totally did. And it was awesome. And I was like, I knew I wanted to see him again. And he was like, yeah, we need to get together real soon. We've been together pretty much every weekend since. Meeting somebody as an adult isn't easy. Me and Mark have these lives that we already created, and now we're trying to put these lives together. So it's not like Stacey and Sean when they met when they were young and then they created a life together. So we are in a bit of an interesting position, and both of us own businesses, and we are both really tied to our communities because of our businesses. It's been challenging, but we fell in love with each other too right away. And there's so many things between Mark and I that there's so many little things. So the farm neighbors out there, they live in the town I'm in, Buena Vista. I knew them from here. And here, COVID happens, and those are the farm neighbors. And when I first met him, before I met him in person, I'm scrolling on his Facebook. Here I see he's friends with this guy, Alberta Wade is what we used to call him. Well, Alberta Wade was my ex-boyfriend from when I lived in Canmore. It was his journeyman welder that like John apprenticed under. And I used to party with Alberta Wade when he'd come to town, and this is somebody that Mark grew up with. By rights, we should have met each other a long time ago. Like, so, and there's many crazy little things like this. We've been together ever since, and it's been, it's been lots of really amazing times, some challenging times, and life is good. We're just working on our relationship and working through things together. I met my man on Tinder. I say it as a badge of honor because I tell people, you can meet really great people on Tinder. Though I know the opposite is a reality. Like there's some real scumbags out there. I tell people, we met on Tinder.
Yeah, well, I have 2 friends who've gotten married off of online dating, so I believe it works.
Exactly. Yeah. You kind of have to know what you want to get out of it, because yeah, of course you can go on there. It could be a hookup, or you can go on there and you can find something serious. That's how Mark and I met. And I'm thankful for it because honestly, we would have never crossed paths otherwise. We truly wouldn't have. And in fact, it's kind of a little bit by fluke that we did connect, because on Tinder, you connect with people within a certain radius of where you are. So Mark would be too far out of my radius if I'm just staying at home. So when you have your app or whatever, it picks up people wherever you go. So if I traveled out to see Stacey out in the mountains, it would start picking up people in the mountains. So it probably actually picked Mark up when I was out skiing one day.
What do you guys got planned for Valentine's Day?
Well, really, no plans because I work a little bit later on Friday and I'll probably just stay home. So unless he wants to come down and do supper or something here, there's like a dinner at the golf course out here. So that might be nice if he wants to come down. But he's been battling life out at the ranch this week. Evidently, he's been struggling hard. So whatever that may entail, I'm not sure. With the cold weather, I'm just not sure if he'll be able to get away. Yeah, no real plans. You and Sean? You guys up to much?
Probably not. It's the long weekend, so it's going to be real busy.
Yeah,
everywhere in town. So that makes things a little bit more challenging when it's a long weekend out here, because then it's every restaurant's packed and so busy. Yeah, so busy. Maybe we have raclette, and I'd really like to do raclette, maybe.
Yeah, I would like to do raclette when I come up there and visit.
I'm not really a big fan of this Hallmark holiday, but maybe just do something nice together this weekend. We have a lot of household renovations to do now after our little escape to Calgary and Rocky this weekend. So
exactly what you should do is renovations on Valentine's Day. Hopefully you stay married. I have to admit, I did paint Mark a Valentine's Day card because I paint watercolor paints, and I painted him a Valentine's Day card. And I was so inspired by it that I painted another one and did a tutorial for my YouTube channel, Blooms and Brushstrokes. So, you know what? I made him a card. I think that's pretty... Oh, and then I bought him Reese's peanut butter cups in a XO box and some Haribo Coca-Cola bottles because those are his favorite.
Oh.
So, you know, I did think about him a little bit and was like, hey, he might need a little sweetening. In his little lunch kit when he goes to Great Roads, he can have his little sweet treats in there. Think about me.
That's awesome. You're way ahead of the prepping for Valentine's Day than I am.
Well, so I surprise myself sometimes too.
The only thing I really think about, though, is our great Auntie Jean on this holiday. And because she is the most loving person that we know. She exudes love. Her whole home is just love. And so I was out there this past weekend, so I've been really thinking about this. And as kids, she wouldn't send us birthday cards. She would send us Valentines because she is the ultimate love of lovers.
Love of lovers, yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to see if I can get you the little clip from, remember, like when my brain was working on that idea of doing the photography, like art show, which one day that'll happen. It's just not happening yet. But then I recorded her. I asked her, like, what is the purpose of life? Love is her answer.
Yeah, she is just so incredible. After seeing her again this weekend, it just is such a constant reminder that she's an angel on this earth, and that
it truly is to everybody around her. Like, people just want to be around that woman because she is just love, and there's got an endless amount of it to give to everybody around her. Like, everybody around her feels the same amount of love.
Yeah.
It's truly beautiful, and I think there's just needs to be so much more of that in this.
Yeah. So Auntie sending us Valentine's is my favorite holiday memory.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that actually when I was in the city. I had to do a couple errands the other day. And so, you know, I was thinking, I remember like, because you had mentioned that to me, like, oh, Auntie. And I was like, yeah, that's right. And then I thought to myself, do people still give out Valentine's Day cards at school and stuff? Like, is that a thing?
Yes. In fact, my friend Ashley posted a picture of her kids filling in their Valentine. She's like, I am done with Valentine's purgatory or something. Because she would have to fill them all in because they couldn't spell their names up until recently.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Classrooms. Who was it?
I was at the bookstore, and I mean, I wasn't looking super hard, but I was looking around because I thought that would be kind of cute to give to the girls in my class, like my women's group class. So I thought, oh, maybe I could find them little Valentines. And then I'm going to give them each a package of hollyhock seeds and then an Aveda hat potion. It's our last week together. And I thought, oh, but then I was like, well, if I get my shit together tonight, maybe I'll just whip up a couple little Valentine's Day watercolor, like little minis, like just of like a little watercolor card or something. And
oh, that would be so beautiful for your ladies group.
Yeah, I think it'd be just kind of a nice little send off, even though we've been offered to extend it. But
why don't you turn it over to our first sponsor message? Who is our non-sponsor sponsor this week, sis, that you'd like to give some props out to?
Okay, you guys. Well, you know what? I'm just going to give a little shout out to my friend Danny. He owns the Waterfront Beach Bar and Grill out in Regina Beach, and it's a staple of our community. So it's a local local pub here at Regina Beach. Big patio where you can sit and enjoy a refreshment on the deck and sit there and look at the beach and people watch. So I'm going to pump up that little business today.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so where does that take us to?
Yes.
Oh, do I get to tell any of my online dating? I have two I'm going to tell. And they're both quite unique. But the very first one is I went on this date with this guy who actually like knows mutual people. So I thought, well, this will be safe. We're just going to go out for a drink. And I was really nervous because it was like close to like, I think the start of my online dating world. So anyways, we meet at the Tap, which is, I used to waitress there when I was in hair school. And so we meet at the Tap and we get there and it's Singo, which is like music bingo. And he's like, do you think we should get out of here? And I was like, okay, well, there's a Boston Pizza like right beside. Okay, cool. We just saunter over to the Boston Pizza. And the whole entire time, like for the very first hour, he's just talking my ear off about his natural path, telling him that he needs to like not eat gluten. And he's just rambling on it. I'm all about seeing a natural path, but it was just like, okay, dude. And so anyhow, he decides he wants to order an appetizer. And he even goes so far to ask, have I told you the story?
Because I can just imagine after him talking about his natural path and wanting to order an appetizer at the pizza place.
Yeah, so he asks, he's like, is there any gluten-free options on the menu? She says a couple things or whatever. Lo and behold, Buddy orders boneless breaded chicken wings. They're not gluten. And of course, like when you're going on a first date, like you're really critical of everything that's happening. They bring them out for him and he's just chowing down on these. And I couldn't even sit there and watch him. I had to go to the bathroom because I, like, you know me, Stacey, I say it like it is. And I was like wanting to call him out on it, but also like, where would that get me? Right? Like, what's the point of doing that? So I got up and went to the bathroom and come back. And he continues on and on about this like naturopath. I'm okay, good for you, man. Like no substance, nothing, whatever. I always said to myself, I would definitely go on a couple dates with somebody before I ever like said, I botched that. Anyhow, he got the name, the next best thing. He was like texting me, oh, that was really great. You know, we should get together soon. And I said, oh yeah, like sure, we could get up together. I said, you know, be in Regina to do something with my mom and my sister. But if you wanted to get together after for a drink or something, that would work. He's like, okay, well, I'll have to see what's happening. Well, I just said, you know, I'm a busy person and if you want to hang out with me, we need to make a plan. I'm not sitting around waiting for you to like text me last minute for whatever. He wanted a booty call. I'm sure of it. So for when he was like, oh, we should hang out. And then I just knew it was like, he was always looking for the next best thing. And I kid you guys not, that man, my girlfriends all got divorced a few years after, and that man was on Tinder still. And he probably still is. I have no idea. But he was like, because he's constantly looking for the next best thing. Okay, and this is the last one. And I don't know if I've ever told my family this story because it's why I stopped online dating for a while, because I was like, what in the heck are you doing, Krista? But I'm very attracted to men that work hard and like farmers, ranchers, whatever. So this guy, he's a rancher. And he invites me out to go for a sleigh ride. I'm like, sounds like a great idea. How could this go wrong? His ranch is out by Lake Stoughton, which is like just an hour east of Regina, like going towards like Weyburn or whatever. I don't know what it was in me that was like, girls, I'm going for a sleigh ride. I'm going to turn my location services on because if you're going for a sleigh ride, like surely we're not just going for a sleigh ride around the parking lot at some winter festival. He drops a pin to where he is. I get out there. He's like in the field and there's an ATCO trailer out in the field. And I'm thinking maybe this is just where his little warm-up shack is, that when he goes out to feed his cattle, because he did have horses and cattle and whatever. No. Like that, I don't know if it was his man cave or what it was, but like this is where he had me come to my date with him, and there was no running water. I went for my sleigh ride, and when I was leaving, I said, thank you so much. That was really nice, but I'm just going to be honest. I have no intentions of ever seeing you again. And I said, I think our lives are too different. And he begged me to stay. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, it was the craziest thing. So after that, I was like, I mean, I said I didn't want to leave any stone unturned, but like the Atco trailer took it too far.
Okay. I got a lot of questions. Krissy has never told me this story. So one, do you think that's where he lived? Was the Atco trailer?
No, I think he actually lived with his parents on the farm. And this was like his man cave out in the field.
Okay. Because I was getting a lot of Dexter vibes. Were you scared for your safety?
No.
Okay.
I probably could have taken him myself. Like, he was a nice guy. He had a couple kids. Like, so that's why I think he like split from his wife or whatever, the baby mama, and ended up living with his parents. But of course, like, you can't be bringing a lady to your parents, but like, you also can't be bringing a lady to an Atco trailer. Yeah, that was like a whole eye opener. And like, you know, when you're kind of going through that single lady living, you don't really think of like really what you're doing. You're just kind of going a little bit wild. And I'm not going to lie. After it happened, I was just like, ooh. When I would tell people about it, I was like, yeah, that probably wasn't like the greatest situation to be in. Anyway, number one red flag, you're turning your location services on for your friends. I'm here to tell the story about it. And, you know, like, came out of it unscathed and learned some lessons. And I was like, okay, that's enough of that. But you know what? Honestly, I would have to give him credit. Like, he was a nice person, and we talked for a while before I even actually met him in person. So I have a pretty good like intuition about people. Like, I get my spidey senses up pretty quickly. So I knew he was like pretty harmless, but it's like, dude, like, don't be bringing babes to the Atco trail.
Don't.
And Krista, don't. Like, I should have just turned right around and not even went in. But of course, curiosity got the best of me. I'm like, well, I'm here. Let's check.
Yeah, and you love to meet new people and find out all their life stories.
Right. And like, the more strange, weird, the more fabulous I find them. I was like, oh, I could just ask this guy a million questions and get to know everything that's going on. But I didn't want to give him any more false hope than I probably had already given him. I wanted to know how he ended up. Like, I wanted to know everything. But it's like, no, don't, Krista, no. Rein yourself in for once. So anyways, those are my two stories. And there's plenty of colorful ones in between there. But yeah, those are the like funny ones that I really truly remember.
Well, sis, thanks for sharing your online dating stories with the naturopath and gluten eater and the Atco trailer sleigh ride. Why don't you tell us about your peaks, pits, and plans, our P3s for this week?
Okay, well, my pit, you know, I don't really have so much of a pit. It's just been very cold here, and it's just hard on life and everything. I'm ready for the deep freeze to be over. That's pretty much just my pit. Really, nothing crazy's happened this week. My peak, so as you guys have, I've talked a lot about like this class that I've been taking, this You Make Sense. It's kind of like a nervous system reset somatic type women's class course. And anyways, we were doing some inner child work. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever done that, but I have never. And in this inner child work, we did this like meditation, kind of guided experience. Christine kind of guided us. That's the practitioner that is facilitating this course. And anyways, in that experience, I actually was able to see myself when I was a little kid. And I'm talking like 1 year old. And the picture that I saw, the person that I saw was so... that was me. It was me, and I seen it. It was like, I felt like the very first memory I have from before my parents got divorced when I was 8 or 9. I don't even remember how old. I have no memories like any time before that. It was so insane. The whole experience, the whole thing of it all. It was different. Like everybody kind of talks about like taking care of their little person, their inner child, and like loving it up and giving it what it didn't get. And my experience in that was way different than I was expecting. I guess different than anybody else's that I've heard so far, because mine was like when I saw my little person, it was like they wouldn't make eye contact with me. It felt very cold. It didn't feel it was interesting. But when I left, I just wanted to spend more time with like wanted to spend more time there. I was like, wow, that's the first memory. I could see that person and I could remember that person. I got home, I was like, I gotta get home and find that picture. Like, I know that there's something somewhere. So I find this picture of myself, this photo, because mom had just given us these boxes of our stuff from when we were kids and lots of baby photos. On the back of this picture, that is pretty much exactly what I was seeing. And in the picture, I had my blanket, like my binky is what I called it. Like I remembered, like it was just so unbelievable. The date on the picture is 83. Well, I was born in 82. I was 1 year old. It was amazing. Wow. Profound. Anyways, that was my peak. Very cool. Doing self-work is unbelievable. It's hard, but it is so rewarding. And my plans. Oh, gosh, you know what? I don't really have any plans. You know, I just kind of rolling through the next couple of weeks because it's going to be cold. Just kind of my regular, do my women's group. This week is my last week, but then she's offered it to us to extend it for 6 more weeks. I'm like, sign me up. I'm not done with this yet. I just scratched the surface. So I'm going to continue on with that so long as she does have enough people and wants to do that still. And then horseback riding lessons. And I have to tomorrow take my car in because I hit the ditch. Tomorrow I take it in to get it appraised and then book it in for getting fixed. So I got to do that tomorrow. Just like regular life stuff, just working and, you know, Valentine's Day. And then I'll probably try to get out to the ranch and on the weekend and Hallmark. It sounds like things have been a little crazy out there. So I'll probably try to get out there this weekend. And if it's not too cold, maybe go for a ski on Sunday. But it's just not even appealing. I just knowing that you're going to be freezing your booty off the whole time. But pretty much it, just pretty chill. What about you, sis? What's happening in your peaks, pits, and plans?
Oh, well, I'll start with my pit. Last week I got my test results back from the x-ray and blood work. And so found out that I have some moderate severe degeneration happening in my neck, which is explaining why I'm having all my arm numbing, tingling, weakness in my hands, all the problems in my wrists. So been referred for an MRI and a specialist in Calgary. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer, but it helps explain what's going on and why it's both sides. So anyhow, so that was my pit. My peaks were going and seeing Auntie Jean for the Super Bowl. She's a huge fan. She's a huge Chiefs fan. Sadly, the Chiefs lost, but she has such a great spirit about it all. She just kept saying, I'm just so worried about my boys.
As she would be. Oh,
yeah.
Like her team, if they only knew the fan she was.
It was just an incredible 20 visit to Rocky Mountain House and seeing all these relatives and just so heart-filling, just awesome. I just loved it. Then we ripped down to Calgary and did a huge shop at Costco and IKEA and Home Depot. And our car was very full and of a lot of fun things that we have been having our eye on. So we have a part of the desk to build. We bought the part for our shower. We get to install our shower.
The shower head. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because when you sent me that message, like Kimmy was like, it's so funny that you bought a shower head. I was like, it is so funny, but so not even surprising because you're like the most practical people I've ever met in my entire life.
So lots of plans for this weekend. A mini bathroom reno will be happening this long weekend. That will be the priority and the goal to get done this weekend. Bought a whole bunch of sound dampening stuff for our bedroom because we live in a condo and our neighbors have an Airbnb. And so we have a lot of traffic in that room, in that condo beside us. And we're hoping that the sound dampening will help the noise in our bedroom from our neighbors. But that probably won't get done this weekend. We are also hoping to get out for a ski on Monday.
Brave.
If it's not too cold. And yes, brave because it's the holiday, but
that's right.
I'm hoping that most of the people will be gone by then.
Don't the kids have the whole week off? Like I think here.
Not here. Not here and not in Calgary.
Maybe not here either.
No, it should be reading week. Probably.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah.
But not here because they have the 2 weeks in March. Anyways, hopeful that it's going to be not so super crazy at the ski hill on Monday and then we can get some laps in. If not, we'll just go for a hot spring. It'll be busy in there.
Yeah.
I think that's probably about it for my peaks, pits, and plans.
Sounds groovy, sis. Do we have another sponsor here to add in another non-sponsor sponsor? Because we don't want to leave out any of those.
Yeah, I'm going to actually pump up my next lady hero. Last week, I celebrated Amy from Tangerine and Schoolhouse, Culinary Arts Regina. But my other lady hero is my dear friend, Zenna. She owns Astra Financial. She's a leader in the financial planning community in Canada. She has a book. She also has a podcast. And just everything she does, I just admire. And she's a great, great friend on top of it all. I just really want to celebrate her today.
Oh, awesome. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us for podcast number 6. It was just, our goal was to be light and airy and talk about silly stuff. So anyways, I know that our parents, oh man, poor dad, he gets a couple doozies in a row. He gets our menopause week, and then he gets to hear about the ATCO trailer. Oh man, that's funny. Sorry to everybody, to our parents, but anyways, it's all good. Our mom listened to the menopause one and then told us she was proud of us. So hey, we're not doing too bad. And anyways, but yeah, we just want to say thank you to all of you guys. Honestly, we've gotten the nicest feedback and the most beautiful words people have said to us about our podcast, which is so lovely. It is so, so kind. Miss Stacey and I are having such a good time doing this, and we're bonding. Like, we talk all the freaking time. It's just been amazing. So thank you guys so much for supporting us and downloading and listening, and that feedback you guys are giving us, because that totally helps us as we move forward, because we're new at this. We're like as green as it gets, but we're having fun and we're really loving it. So if you guys want to follow us, head over to Instagram and follow Sisters Social Call. We're posting pics and when our new episodes come up, all that good stuff. And then, you guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that. And if you want to see Stacey personally, she is on Facebook as well as LinkedIn, so you guys can connect with her there. And I think that's gonna wrap it up for us, sis. What do you think?
Awesome. I love the love episode.
Love the love. Yeah, we love the love. We are lovers ourselves. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much, and we'll check you guys next time. Love you, sis.
Love you, Sissy.